I dated my ex's best friend as revenge. You seriously did this to me? His voice echoed across the crowded cafeteria before I even turned around. Trays clattered. Conversations stopped. Every eye locked onto me. My ex, Liam, was standing in the doorway, face red, chest heaving like he'd just sprinted across the school. He looked like someone had reached into his life and yanked out the last piece of control he had left. And then I realized why. Because sitting right next to me, leaned back casually, arms crossed like he'd been waiting for this moment, was Caleb, Liam's best friend, the one person he never expected to betray him. Liam, calm down, I said quietly, but my voice shook. He didn't calm down. He marched right toward our table, eyes blazing. People moved out of his way like he was radioactive. Tell me it's not true, he demanded. Tell me you're not dating him. Silence. Even Caleb didn't speak. He just stared straight at Liam, jaw set, like he'd already accepted whatever was coming. A fork dropped somewhere. Someone whispered, "Oh my God." Liam slammed his hands on the table so hard my whole tray jumped. "Why him?" he shouted. "Out of everyone, why my best friend?" I felt my throat close. Not from fear, not from guilt, but because this was the moment I knew I couldn't undo. This was the moment the entire school found out that the girl Liam cheated on was now dating the boy he trusted the most. I swallowed. "You want the truth?" I said softly. The cafeteria leaned in. "You earned this." And that was the second the room exploded into whispers. How everything started, why the revenge was even possible, and how the nicest girl got pulled into the mess. Flashback, 3 months earlier. If someone had told me I'd eventually date Caleb, I would have laughed. Back then, he barely even looked at me. He was always next to Liam, the quiet one, the calm one, the one who kept Liam from doing something stupid every 5 minutes. They were inseparable, an unbreakable duo. Or so everyone thought. And me? I was just the girl who fell for Liam's stupid smirk and "I'd never hurt you" promises. Looking back, I should have paid more attention to the warning signs, the little things that didn't feel right. Like the night before everything fell apart. Mini scene, the first warning. I was waiting for Liam outside practice. He'd texted me to come see him, so I stood in the hallway, scrolling my phone, minding my business. Then I heard voices around the corner. Not loud, just sharp. "Caleb, dude, stop messing around. She doesn't deserve that." "Liam, relax. She won't find out." My stomach dropped. Even then, I wanted to pretend I'd misheard. I wanted to believe Liam was just joking. But he stepped out of the locker room with that same crooked grin that used to make my heart jump. Only this time, I felt something else. His eyes widened when he saw me. "Babe, didn't know you were here already." I glanced past him at Caleb. He looked sick, guilty, like he knew something I didn't. I tried to shake it off, tried to believe Liam, but the doubt stayed. 2 weeks later, I found out the truth. Not through a dramatic reveal, not because someone exposed him, but because a girl I barely knew came up to me during lunch, eyes full of remorse. "Hey, I'm really sorry. I didn't know he had a girlfriend." My heart stopped. Liam's betrayal spread through the school faster than I could breathe. And instead of apologizing, instead of even pretending to be sorry, he said, "Come on, it was just a mistake. Stop being dramatic." That was the day I walked away from him. But here's the part nobody knew. Caleb walked away too. He stopped talking to Liam, stopped sitting with him, stopped covering for him, and even though we didn't speak, he'd look at me with this mix of regret and something else I couldn't understand at the time. Something like respect. Small humiliations started piling up. People whispering. Girls shooting pity looks at you like you were the dumb one for trusting him. Liam acting like you were the unreasonable one. But the worst part? Liam didn't lose anything. He was still laughing with friends. Still flirting with people who didn't care. Still acting like breaking your heart was some minor inconvenience. Everyone told me to move on, to forget him. But then, something changed. The moment Caleb stepped in. It was after school. I was getting books from my locker when Liam brushed past me on purpose, knocking my shoulder. "Oops," he said, not even pretending. Caleb was just down the hall. He saw everything. For the first time, he didn't look calm. He marched straight up to Liam and said, loud enough for people to hear, Cut it out. You don't get to treat her like trash. Liam laughed in his face. What? Are you her bodyguard now? No, Caleb said quietly. But I'm not pretending you're a good person anymore. That was the first time I realized. Caleb wasn't loyal to Liam. He was loyal to what was right. And for the first time, he looked at me differently. Not like his best friend's girlfriend. Not like someone fragile. But like someone worth standing up for. And that is when the tension started. People noticed. Liam noticed. And resentment started growing. Between the boys, between the friend group, between everyone. Little did I know that Liam's past mistakes were nothing compared to the chaos coming, because the moment Caleb chose you over him, Liam made it his mission to make your life miserable, and the moment Caleb realized that, he didn't step back, he stepped closer. The cruelty grows, the rumors spread, the friend group fractures, and the idea of revenge begins to form. The slow, unavoidable collapse. After the day Caleb defended me in the hallway, everything changed. Not in a good way. Not at first. Liam decided that if he couldn't control me anymore, he would control the story, and he started small. Little comments, little digs, things he knew would get under my skin. At first, I ignored them, because that's what everyone told me to do. But ignoring Liam was like ignoring a fire alarm. It didn't stop anything. It just let the noise get louder. 2 days after Caleb stood up for me, it started. People I'd never spoken to would look at me and smirk. Girls nudged each other and laughed as I walked past. One of them whispered, loudly on purpose. She really thought she was special? Liam gets bored of everyone. Another added. No wonder he cheated. She's boring. I pretended I didn't hear. But my ears burned. And I knew exactly who started the rumors. One afternoon, Liam walked up to me in front of a group of students. He put on his sweetest fake smile, the kind he used to get teachers on his side, and said, Hey, I'm sorry you feel hurt. That wasn't an apology. It was an attack dressed like one. Someone snickered. He kept going. But next time, maybe don't be so clingy. That's probably why things happened the way they did. I felt my face heat up. I wanted to disappear. Then suddenly, a locker slammed shut. Caleb. He was on the other end of the hallway, fists clenched, staring straight at Liam. And Liam smirked. He loved that Caleb was watching. He wanted him to watch. Because hurting me was one thing. Hurting me in front of Caleb? That was a whole different game for Liam. A week later, I opened my locker and a folded paper slipped out. I picked it up, thinking it was something from a teacher. It wasn't. It was Liam's handwriting. One line. Have fun being alone. No one else will want you. I didn't cry. Not at school. Not where people could see. But something inside me hardened. Later that day, I went to the library to get away from everyone. It didn't work. Because a few minutes later, I heard a chair scrape softly. Caleb sat across from me. He didn't ask what was wrong. He didn't push me to talk. He just placed something gently on the table. My notebook. I hadn't even realized I'd dropped it in the hallway. You left this behind, he said. His voice was quiet, steady. The opposite of Liam's sharp, mocking tone. You okay? Caleb asked after a moment. I hesitated. I didn't want to look weak. Yeah, I'm fine. He raised an eyebrow. That's the worst lie I've ever heard. For the first time all week, I almost laughed. Then he said something I didn't expect. You know, Liam's not the type to let go of control without a fight. I blinked. What's that supposed to mean? It means, he said, leaning forward slightly, he's scared. He only acts this way when he's scared. That confused me. Scared of what? Caleb didn't answer. Instead, he gave that quiet, thoughtful look he always had, the one that made it seem like he saw things nobody else did. Then he said, Just, don't let him convince you you're alone. But the attacks continued. Liam couldn't stand that I wasn't crawling back, and the more he realized I was done with him, the worse he got. He made jokes about me during practice. He let rumors spread unchecked. He made sure his new crowd laughed every time I walked by. And every time Caleb stepped in, it only made Liam angrier. The tension between them was building like a storm. People noticed their friendship breaking apart. Whispers followed them down hallways. Some said Caleb was jealous. Others said he had a crush on me. Others said he was just trying to be a hero. But nobody knew the truth. Caleb didn't like seeing people get hurt. And Liam didn't like losing the one person who made him look better. One morning, everything snapped. I was sitting in homeroom, half asleep, when my phone buzzed nonstop. Group chats, notifications, people tagging me. When I opened my messages, my heart dropped. Someone had leaked screenshots from Liam's private group chat with his friends, and they were about me. Things like, "She'll cry about this for months. She should have been grateful I even dated her. Watch, she'll crawl back eventually. I bet she's waiting for me to text her. Pathetic." I froze. My hands went cold. But the screenshot that hit hardest was the very last one. "Liam, if she ever tries to get with anyone else, I'll make her regret it." My stomach twisted. Before I could even react, one more message popped up, part of the leak. It wasn't from Liam. It was from Caleb. "Caleb, leave her alone. I'm serious." And Liam's response, "You're choosing her over me? Really?" At that moment, the entire school saw the truth. Liam was cruel. Caleb wasn't backing down. And you were stuck between two boys who were about to become enemies. People kept staring at me like I was the center of some drama I never asked for. I didn't want revenge. Not at first. I wanted peace. I wanted quiet. I wanted my life back. But when I saw the screenshots of Liam mocking me, laughing at me, calling me pathetic, and threatening to make me regret ever moving on, something inside me shifted. It wasn't bitterness. It wasn't spite. It was clarity. If Liam wanted a reaction, fine. He would get one. Just not the one he expected. Because suddenly, the idea hit me. A wild, dangerous, perfectly poetic idea. And it had a name. Caleb. It happened on a Thursday. A normal Thursday. A boring Thursday. A day nobody expected anything dramatic to happen. Which is probably why it did. I was grabbing my books from my locker when I felt someone step beside me. Not close, just close enough. Caleb. He didn't speak right away. He never did. Instead, he looked down the hallway, scanning the area like he was making sure Liam wasn't lurking nearby. Only when he was satisfied did he turn to me. "You saw the leak?" he asked quietly. I closed my locker, holding the cold metal handle because my hands were shaking again. "Yeah. I didn't know they'd leak it," he said. But I'm not sorry for what I said to him. Something about the way he said it, steady, firm, without regret, made my stomach twist in a way I didn't expect. I nodded, unsure how to respond. Caleb shifted slightly, rubbing the back of his neck. I also wanted to say something else. My heart skipped. But before he could speak, before anything could happen, the turning point arrived. Violent, loud, and completely unstoppable. A classroom door slammed open. Not just opened, slammed, like someone had kicked it. Everyone froze. A teacher stepped out, holding a phone, looking furious and confused. "Who did this?" she shouted. The hallway went silent. "What happened?" someone whispered beside me. The teacher held up the phone, and my blood ran cold, because it was my photo on the screen. Someone had printed screenshots from Liam's group chat, including the ones where he mocked me, and slipped them under her door. Not just hers. More teachers were stepping out now, checking their phones, reading the leaks. Whispers rose like smoke. Did Liam really say that? That's messed up. Why would he talk about her like that? Is that his number? That's definitely him. It wasn't just students anymore. It was adults, authorities, people who actually had power. The chaos erupted in seconds. A coach stormed down the hallway. A counselor followed with a folder. A teacher barked Liam's name like it was an emergency alarm. And across the hall, Liam stepped out of a classroom, confused and irritated. "What's going on?" he snapped. A teacher marched right up to him. "Liam, office, now." "For what?" he demanded. She showed him the printed screenshots. His face drained of color. For the first time, in all the months of humiliation and cruelty, Liam looked genuinely scared. But the hallway kept watching. Everyone, every student, every teacher, including Caleb. And that's when it hit me. Someone had slipped the screenshots into the teacher's hands. Not by accident, on purpose. Someone chose this moment, this day, this hallway, this timing, and that someone was standing right next to me. I turned slowly. Caleb met my eyes with calm, steady silence. He didn't confirm anything. He didn't deny it. He didn't need to, because I suddenly understood. Caleb wasn't waiting for revenge. He'd already started it. The hallway buzzed as Liam was escorted to the office. People weren't whispering about me anymore. They were whispering about him. Is he suspended? Did he threaten her? What did he even say in those chats? I heard he called her pathetic. My teacher said the school doesn't tolerate that kind of harassment. For once, Liam was the one shrinking under the weight of rumors. He didn't look powerful now. He didn't look in control. He just looked small. And Caleb? He leaned against the lockers beside me, arms crossed, watching quietly. He wasn't smug. He wasn't smiling. He just looked relieved, like he'd been waiting for someone to finally see who Liam really was. Then he said softly, "Guess he's not untouchable after all." The moment between us. When the hallway cleared, it was just me and Caleb. He pushed off the locker and looked down at me with that calm, thoughtful expression he always had when he was trying to read a situation. "You okay?" he asked. I nodded. And for once, I meant it. "Yeah, I think I am." Caleb exhaled like he'd been holding his breath all morning. Then, softly, almost too softly, he said the sentence that changed everything. "You don't have to go through this alone. Not anymore." My breath caught. "What does that mean?" I whispered. He looked at me for a long moment before answering. "It means," he said, "if you want me around, I'll be around." My voice nearly disappeared. "And if I want more than that?" His eyes flickered. Surprise, hope, something warm. "That depends," he said gently. "Do you want more than that?" I opened my mouth, but footsteps echoed down the hall, breaking the moment. Caleb stepped back, respectful, giving me space. But before he walked away, he added quietly, "I'm not Liam. I'm not going to play with you." Something inside me shifted again. But this time, it wasn't anger. It was possibility, hope, power, and the first spark of something I'd never expected. Revenge, mixed with a chance at something real. The consequences hit. The school takes action. The social hierarchy flips. And the revenge you never planned becomes the revenge everyone talks about. The day after the office call. When I walked into school the next morning, something felt different. People weren't staring at me with pity anymore. No snickering. No whispers about being clingy or pathetic. No one pointing at me like I was the embarrassing one. Instead, they were staring at Liam. He walked down the hallway looking like he'd aged 10 years overnight. No smile, no swagger, no crowd around him. He looked exposed. And even though his friends tried to act normal around him, you could see it. They were scared of being associated with the guy who got called into the office for harassment. I didn't feel triumph. Not yet. I just felt like the balance finally shifted. And Liam? He felt it too. He caught my eye from across the hallway. For the first time since the breakup. He looked guilty, panicked, tortured. But he didn't come up to me. Because standing right beside me was Caleb. The public shift. We weren't holding hands. We weren't acting like anything. We were just walking together. But that alone was enough to make jaws drop. Liam's best friend. Walking next to the girl Liam hurt. The day after Liam's group chat got exposed, people whispered. Are they together? Did Caleb help her? Is he ditching Liam? Did Liam actually deserve it? The narrative changed. Not because I forced it. Not because I begged for it. But because the truth finally spoke louder than his lies. And everyone knew it. Liam tries to rewrite the story, too late. At lunch, he finally approached me. Not with anger. Not with arrogance. But with desperation. He cornered me near the vending machines, hands raised like he was trying to show he wasn't a threat. "We need to talk," he said. "No, we don't." "Yes, we do," he insisted. "People think I'm a monster. You know I'm not." I stayed silent. "If you would just tell them we're fine." "Liam," I said flatly, "you humiliated me for weeks." He flinched. "I didn't mean for any of that to happen." "You never mean it," I replied. "You just do it." He opened his mouth again, but a shadow moved behind him. Caleb. Caleb stepped into view, calm and steady. Not threatening, not aggressive, just present. Liam tensed immediately. "What do you want?" Liam snapped. Caleb's voice stayed low and even. "I'm just making sure she's okay." Liam laughed bitterly. "Right. My best friend turned babysitter. You're pathetic." Caleb didn't react, not even a flinch. But he did say, "Funny, you call me pathetic, but I'm the one who still has my self-respect." Liam froze. And that was when it clicked for everyone watching nearby. The duo was officially over. The school's consequences. An administrator approached Liam halfway through the day and handed him a paper. Everyone saw it. Everyone whispered, "Is that?" "Yeah. Suspension notice." Liam's face went pale. The rumors spread faster than the truth. He's suspended for harassment. He threatened her. He bullied her. He got reported. Not one rumor made him look innocent. Because he wasn't. He stomped out of the building, shoulders tense, backpack half-zipped, eyes burning with a mix of anger and fear. And for the first time, I didn't feel scared of him. I felt done with him. And now, the revenge people notice. That afternoon, I was heading out of school when someone called our names. "Hey, wait." It was one of Liam's old friends. Not close to me. Not someone who had ever defended me. He approached cautiously. "I just wanted to say." He swallowed. "What Liam did was messed up. You didn't deserve any of that." I blinked. People didn't say things like that before. Because before, Liam controlled the story. But now, people were choosing sides. And they weren't choosing his. When he walked away, Caleb looked at me, raising an eyebrow. "You okay?" I smiled. A small one, but real. "Yeah," I said. "Actually, yeah." Caleb nodded once, quietly satisfied. "You know," he said, "you didn't do anything to get revenge." I didn't have to. I looked at him. He did it to himself. But there was still one missing piece. Liam still didn't know the truth. He didn't know that. His own words brought him down. His best friend turned against him for a reason.